What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Now, hopefully my mic is not as loud as my last video, so hopefully that should be a little more clear, so you guys should be good. Anyways, we're watching Stop Calling These Characters Legendary. The second one by blankboy. Let's get
in the
on.
group he did. So you guys really enjoyed mine. And his final battle scene lasted for a shorter amount of time than Will telling the group he did. So you guys really enjoyed my Stop Calling These Characters Legendary video. I was very happy to get my Sasuke
I did
off.
see the first one
I forgot
off
to mention
video.
This trash cut too. So you know what? Here go one more for y'all. This is Stop Calling These Characters Legendary Part 2.
Stop calling that man legendary because he...
Bay vs Optimus Prime. Now, unlike my last video, which features Sasuke, Mark, and Korra, no one in this video do I actually dislike. Optimus is iconic with great
moments. To say
Optimus
in this universe
so was
is
Rebecca Black's Friday song.
Insane.
Iconic don't always mean he was cooking for real. Yo, Optimus, do you have any 1v1 fight wins versus strong villains? I got Aura. So we can go through each shitty movie to really dissect how Optimus was truly a fraud. Let's
he did get beat up a lot.
Back before Shia LaBeouf was a crackhead and Megan Fox had all of y'all bricked up. In this movie, the Autobots didn't do nearly as much fighting. Optimus does kill Bone Crusher, which was dope. He used his Energon blades and gave...
It was more of a... I would say the first Bay verse was to get into the story of it, right? Yeah, it's Michael Bay, explosions, action scenes, all this stuff. But I really think it did a good job at storytelling, building up to the fight scenes, building up to so that the story feels more epic. And then as they came on by, the second movie was a little bit more aggressive on the action with some storytelling because they wanted to focus more on, I feel like, me personally, they wanted to focus more on there's a war going on, so all this stuff is going to be thrown at you face to face. And then they brought back more storytelling, more actions, like less action scenes, more storytelling. I could have gone that backwards, but you know, and then it goes kind of a back and forth, me personally.
Him straight belt. He even saved Sam from a falling building. One thing I definitely didn't say is that Optimus is a bad hero. So congrats,
True.
nigga. But unfortunately, we don't give out legendary statuses for beating Jake Paul. You gotta do more than that. You gotta beat a big dog. And when it was time for the final battle, when it was crunch time, 20 seconds left on the clock, go get a bucket versus Megatron. He was getting that ass smacked. I'm talking Kyle Lowry in prison, ass smacked. It took... One thing I definitely give out legendary statuses for the final battle. When it was crunch time, 20 seconds left on the clock, go get a bucket versus Megatron. He was getting that ass smacked. I'm talking Kyle Lowry in prison, ass...
I mean, I might need to play Marvel Rivals later, gotta be honest.
Smacked. It took the military lighting up Megatron like
also,
a Christmas
do you
tree
guys drink
jets,
these?
blasting his...
Do you guys drink these Crush drinks? They're like, they go in your water and they're supposed to taste like Crush soda.
And Sam putting the Allspark into Megatron's
to me, they
chest
taste like normal
Optimus
flavoring.
was not going to be able to do it. It wasn't even a close fight. Sam Witwicky is just some regular nigga they found off the street, and he had to save the day. After watching Gabe Vincent for the Lakers, I'm convinced he is too. Imagine him carrying Braun to a championship. Imagine what narratives would spawn from that. But since Optimus got great quotables, I guess we just let it slide, huh? So let's go to Transformers 2 then. Optimus Prime fought in the forest versus 3 Decepticons and only lost because he was distracted by Sam. That's a fact. Sometimes that's all it takes. You look away for a second and your dumbass dog pissing on the carpet. You gotta stay locked in. But ultimately, he did die and remained dead for the entire movie basically. Meaning everyone else has to carry weight in solving the mysteries and figuring out how they're gonna win. Nigga Optimus let himself die and forced us to deal with skids and mudflap screen time. That's enough right there to make him not legendary. What the fuck type of torture is this? But then he comes back to life in the very end, right? And gets his chain snatched literally instantly, getting...
Hold on though. You've missed out a part. When he got up from that scene, the moment he was revived, he came in and hit and attacked him out of nowhere. Optimus literally just stood up. The moment he stood up, the guy teleported on top of him. The guy teleported directly like in front of him and trampled him because he didn't have time to expect it. It was a surprise attack. Not only that, he just got up. So you can't really blame him for that.
Killed basically right again.
You can't blame him for
How
that
you
though.
get
That's not his
revived,
fault.
Then downed.
Because he just got back up. In that scene, I am such a nerd for this. In that scene, he literally just got back up and got attacked. He really didn't have time to respond to that.
2 seconds later, nigga, go get Juggernog. So then Jetfire, we already on to like the 18th nigga who's had to sacrifice himself for Optimus, gives Optimus his power. And I'll give Optimus credit here. Remember, I don't hate Optimus, I like him, because he did put incredible hands on the Fallen and Megatron. You can give a chef all the ingredients, but they still gotta cook a good meal. Aisha Curry got everything she could ever imagine and still baking lizard ankles, so it ain't that easy. But then you go to Transformers 3 and Optimus gets stuck in a bunch of cables in the sky, putting him out the fight for a minute. Look at him, look at silly, this Tom and Jerry ass trap they caught him with. No, they didn't even catch him with it. He did it to himself. This nigga don't know how to fly right. Now he does get out of it and starts cooking every Decepticon in sight, killing Shockwave. But when it was time to fight Sentinel, Unc Sentinel was shitting on Optimus. Unc Sentinel hasn't fought in centuries. Nigga woke up yesterday and still showing Optimus how he used to get down back in the 80s, doing crack and wearing bad fits.
I will say that was kind of a ridiculous fight. Not gonna lie.
Megatron saved Optimus's life, and Megatron wasn't even trying to fight bro afterwards. Optimus sneaks him when he was trying to discuss them forming a super team, and then he steals Megatron's kill on Sentinel. We're 3 movies in and he still doesn't have a real win versus the main villain without a ridiculous amount of help. That's legendary to y'all? Transformers 4. Guess what happens in that one? Optimus gets fucked up by Galvatron and gets himself kidnapped, carried into Lockdown's ship. Free Big Optimeasy, he innocent. All the side characters gotta go on a mission to rescue him, just so when he 1v1s Lockdown, he could get thumbtacked to the wall like a to-do list. And gets carried by Bumblebee and Cade, where he steals their kill again. He's stat padding, nigga. Transformers 5. Optimus gets taken over and becomes evil and was getting that ass beat by Bumblebee. He was getting dropped off by a fucking midget.
To be fair, he did get beat up by Quintessa. Quintessa's power on other Transformers is just way too powerful. Too powerful. So that's fair.
Out of that fight because the plot wrote in a tsunami, and
Big Boy Bumblebee had to go in though.
And then in the end, it's Bumblebee who kills Quintessa while Optimus is frozen in place and can't move. Now let's go over to Rise of the Beast. I understand this isn't Bay vs Optimus anymore, but fuck it, we slandering, so let's really slander. The Autobots pull up on Scourge for the first
I did like this Optimus. I think this Optimus kind of cooked over the others.
time, and Optimus was getting shit on
He was a little more aggressive in this one too.
as per usual. Surprise, surprise, bro. Scourge hit him in the chin, knocking him out, and then Optimus sat there and watched his young bull Bumblebee get hoisted up in the air and killed. This nigga Optimus the worst father figure ever, bro. Bumblebee mom told you to have that little nigga back by 8 p.m. Now you're gonna bring her just his arm talking about some my fault. I will say though, shout out to Rise of the Beast Optimus because finally, this is the first time after 6 movies where Optimus finally does beat the main villain in a 1v1 fight. He held his face up against the lava, gave that man the Zuko scar. So shout out to him. It only took like 15 years for him to finally do it on the big screen. Only for it to then get reversed in Transformers 1, where he gets his ass blasted off the tower by D-16, and the writers had
To be fair, that version of Optimus is younger and doesn't have the battle experience. At that time, when he got, boomed and fall into the abyss. He didn't have the battle experience at that time. Even with the Kagen, he still has to learn the battle experience no matter what. And yes, he beat him because of the Matrix, but he still had to learn battle experience. He still didn't fight at his best because he still was young and still had to learn the battle experience.
To pull off some bullshit ass random buff mid falling like Mufasa to his death to save him. And Optimus does have a legendary moment when he gets back up there and shits on all the Decepticons by himself, with all the other Autobots just spectating. He don't need help. Listen, ultimately, I love Optimus just like you guys, but when the main villain steps up to the plate, Optimus consistently failed. And if it wasn't just for pure plot or his teammates jumping in to help him, he would have died 16 more times on top of the 17 times he already died.
Stop calling that man legendary because he...
Rocky Balboa. Listen, we all
I never watched Rocky. I wasn't into the fighting. Big man go, ugh. Wasn't really my thing.
Because they allow for the impossible to happen. And Rocky Balboa being a heavyweight champion is the perfect example of that. That nigga was 5'10", 190 pounds. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder are like 5'6", 280 behemoths. Rocky Balboa is Bill Russell, Neolithic hoops. I can't respect his era. This nigga Rocky was fighting mailmen and carpenters. And even with that weak ass competition, he had a 53-23 record. What the fuck is that? In real life, a nigga with 23 losses would stop getting professional fights, cause that's so bad. Just
True.
look at his form. He punches like Popeye. He got that Celtics mascot why I oughta stance. He looked like he was charging up his punches by spinning his arm like fucking Donkey Kong. Rocky Balboa was anything but a legendary boxer. Look at him, bro. Hands down the entire fight. I don't know if Rocky ever actually blocked once.
No.
He just sat there and took hits to the face, ending fights looking like he trained with Piccolo, talking about some, yeah, I was cooking, bro, wasn't I, huh? Adonis Creed is a million times better than Rocky. He was fighting real hitters, real heavyweights. Dame would have put paws on Rocky. Tell me I'm lying.
True.
We seen how Jonathan Majors had Creed on the ropes.
I did see
we also
part
seen
of
how
that
he had
movie.
his girl on them too.
My parents
Just
were
use
watching
your eye
that,
test.
so-
Unless you're Stevie Wonder, it is very clear. Rocky is a flip phone, battery falling out and shit, versus Creed who's an iPhone 17 Pro Max. Rocky was in a weak era and he really didn't even dominate it. That is the definition of a fraud. Imagine how crazy the slander
True.
would be on someone like Wilt Chamberlain if he was going against those same doctors he was going against, but instead of dominating, he was just ass. What? That is not legendary.
Stop calling that man legendary because he...
Vecna.
I never watched any of the Stranger Things because I just got told it probably wasn't for me because I'm not big on the scare. Like, I couldn't watch Alien vs. Predator nor the Predator movies because it scarred me since a child. Because I thought it was a good idea to watch it when I was 6. Scarred me for life. Could never watch it the same again. I don't like scare movies. I can't watch Pennywise. I can't watch stuff like that. I can see gore, you know. I've seen some pretty good amount of gore movies. But I can't watch scary jump scare stuff. Unless it has, like, some. Like, I can watch some, but not all. But a lot of people said I shouldn't watch Stranger Things because it might be a little extreme for me. But, God, I feel like I need to watch it.
Even gotta ask the Duffer
Because I
Brothers
don't
to
know
that they just started making shit up
what's
as they were
going on.
going along after season 1 of Stranger Things. And that's very clear in regard to Vecna. This man was supposed to be the big bad, the Thanos for Netflix heads. And his final battle scene lasted for a shorter amount of time than Will telling the group he liked dick. He was the fakest of fake demons. The group pulled up to your crib and speared you through the chest and you couldn't catch a single body? The fact that everyone got out of there unscathed is ridiculously ass
That
from
is-
Vecna. Half them niggas
Okay, that is pretty bad. You got a whole group. At least you could have gotten 2 out of there. I get you're getting ganged up. You could have at least gotten 2 out of there. Let's be honest. Out of all that group, there's so many of them. They could be so careless. And boom. But
didn't even have weapons because walk 'em down Nancy Wheeler was ball hogging all the shotguns and pistols and shit. Dudes was in there with water balloons and slingshots, somehow defeating you. This Disney Channel ass
okay,
ending.
yeah.
I've seen Demodogs and Demogorgons throughout the entire series give way more trouble than what Vecna gave. How the fuck Robin giving the villain more struggle than Batman? The military base was getting wiped by a few Demogorgons with all their artillery, but a group of 24-year-old teenagers defeated you? This is the big bad villain, but they pulled up to his own
24-year-old
home turf,
teenagers
and he
is
got caught
wild.
lacking like that? Nigga, you know you got ups. How you just so nonchalant? The Duffer Brothers said that there were no Demodogs or Demogorgons because the group caught Vecna by surprise. Can't that nigga literally see everything? How did he get snuck? You mean to
True,
tell me
if he
that
can-
Vecna couldn't
if he's
hear
all
them coming,
seeing, then-
or because of that whack-ass hairline, see the light reflect
That is a
off Lucas's
crazy
forehead,
hairline.
shining up in the sky like a bat signal.
That is the
Vecna had a hold on
50
Holly's
that
leg,
is
and
the
the plate
50
cleaner Derek
hairlines.
manages to
That is
outmuscle
the
him, pulling Holly away
hairline
from him, and then
when,
told that nigga to suck his fat one. He was getting treated like a meme the entire
that's
last
the
episode, bro.
hairline
He's
of
supposed to be
freaking,
way
I
more
don't know,
powerful
Fresh
than 11,
Prince.
except he's literally losing a 1v1 ISO to her somehow. It makes no sense. We're 5 seasons in, and we seen that this bitch was still struggling to flip pennies, nose bleeding and shit, but now all of a sudden she can push him against a spike? They defeated Vecna, and there was still an hour left in the episode. The weak-ass military got 11 to die before Vecna was able to do it. It's crazy. Don't get me started on the Mind Flayer too. They brought him back for what? Just to look sorry. Vecna was a fraud, bro. Cool concept of a villain that they made up 5 minutes before it was time to shoot the season, but for him to be defeated that easily, that quickly, was just such a letdown of what's been built up for over like a decade now.
Stop calling
It's
that
fair.
man legendary because he won.
Gohan. Now I know some of y'all
Gohan has always been trash. I'm not gonna lie. Gohan, I didn't see too much Dragon Ball. I've seen enough like clips, people talking about it, to basically know the entire Dragon Ball timeline. I'm not joking either. I've seen enough clips, enough people talking about it, enough of anything to know pretty much every single scene. Pretty much. Of course, again, I don't know every single scene, but I know Gohan was a goddamn fraud. He went to Goku Black and then been like, oh, I'm going to get out of here. But then had the audacity when Goku Black caught him, or Zenitsu, whatever, caught him, and was like, no, not. And then Goku Black almost got hit into the time machine. And I believe he almost got hit, but he saw it and he was like, no, not. And Gohan was like, no, not the time machine. You just told that man what that was, bro. And it got destroyed. Like, he is the biggest, and not only that, but when he had the glasses and he was fighting Yellow Piccolo, whatever his name is, he literally it took him way longer than it should have been to destroy him. I'm sorry.
gonna get mad
You're a descendant.
at this.
You're a
But let's be
descendant
real, bro.
of your father,
Gohan is a
and
lot
somehow
cooler
you are
in
the
theory
weakest
than in
link.
reality. One of my personal favorite versions of Gohan is Future Gohan, but can we really think about what we're glazing for a second? This nigga Gohan allowed for everyone he's known and loved to die.
Right.
The world is being boomed constantly.
Literally.
And he is constantly getting his ass beat, and we just
Literally.
over here sitting like, but bro, he's too tough. Look at the scar in one arm. Mad Ortho. He's a failure. A walking failure. We a bunch of simple ass niggas to please, bro. One sandwich and a back rub and now we ready to marry her. Gohan spent most of his pre-Cell Saga days getting the absolute shit folded out of him and freezing
Literally.
in the big moments, crying with a few bright spots here and there that really amounted
But
to
you're a
nothing.
descendant
But I'm
of
willing to look past
you are the descendant of the strongest Saiyan alive. And you got the genes of doom. Like, you got the doo-doo cheek genes. Granted, maybe that's because, well, even with Chi-Chi's genes, I still think Chi-Chi's still pretty strong. But, like, did he get all of Chi-Chi's street? Did he get all that genes? Because, like, what are we doing? You're poking them like, you're going, oh my god, I gotta fight them. And they're going, pimp slapping him. Done. Like, I don't care what anyone says. I hate Gohan. I haven't even seen the show to hate him. I've read enough of comics.
Bolt's toddler for getting smoked by Noah Lyles. But even
That's
in
also
the
because
Cell
there's no
saga,
sites
Gohan
that
had
can
Cell on
let me watch it
ropes
for
and
free, and
started
I'm not
fucking
paying
around,
$80 for
forcing Goku
site.
to
I already
then have to
paid
sacrifice
$7 for
himself
Netflix.
to save the Earth. Gohan, it was your single. This was your #1 hit, and you let Drake on it. That shit is not yours anymore. That's Goku's moment now. And you
Right,
think
against
you learned
Cell
his
was
lesson,
so
but then
insane,
in the Buu
bro.
saga, this motherfucker gets cocky again and lets Buu eat his ass, absorbing his power.
True.
What the fuck? Y'all
True,
let
I
me
do
know.
remember
What
that.
is legendary
I
about
do remember
being one
the
hard-headed
talk
ass
about
nigga?
that, the
How many
review.
times do we have to teach you this lesson? And then what does he
Too
do
many
after that?
times.
He retires and starts studying in school. Now, I'm usually one to support motherfuckers acknowledging their trash. I've told Draymond Green to consider painting instead of basketball a few times. But fuck that. Gohan, you pussy. I've heard that Toriyama wanted Gohan to be the new MC and leave Goku dead, but fans wasn't fucking with it, so he ended up not doing it. And I think that's ended up holding Gohan's character immensely, cause he was supposed to take the reins, but now he just needed to be sidelined again. It just felt like a huge step back. And then you go to Dragon Ball Super, and they got him out here fighting Winnie the Pooh. Then they got him fighting a nigga who finally took off his do-rag.
Bruh. A
The only
cranium
real
on him.
memorable
Got the
moment he gets
KSI
in
forehead.
Super is when he beats Dispo, which is a good win. Shout out to Gohan. And then he gets a random ass pull transformation Beast Gohan that had no build up whatsoever, and he got without any training because that's all Gohan's character is. He is a fraud, bro. He is not legendary. The Gohan glaze is crazy.
Stop calling that man legendary because he won.
Red Hood. Again, none of these characters I dislike. In fact, Red Hood might possibly be my favorite DC character. But let's keep it real, bro. We all fuck with this nigga off of one storyline, and that's pretty ass when you think about it. I'm kind of taking
What
a
do you
different
mean?
approach with this one. I'm not even
Most
saying don't call
legendary
Red Hood
characters
legendary
have
because
one
his actions are
storyline.
that of a fraud necessarily. I'm saying we can't call this man legendary because there's so many renditions of him that are ass, and we only mess with him for the Under the Red Hood storyline. Gun to the back of your head right now.
That's how
name me
all
5
legends
good
are.
Jason Todd
All
comic book
legendary-
storylines.
All
Exactly, bro. Let's be
legendary
real. Nobody
characters
give a
are
fuck
known
about the
for one
Outlaws.
scene
There's a
or
reason DC
one
has
action
retold
scene
the same story in
normally.
movie form,
The
then in live
one
action
we
TV
always
form,
remember
then
have
in
more
video
scenes,
game
but the
form.
one
What
that
other
we
stories they gonna tell
call
about, bro?
legendaries
Nobody knows
no
or cares
matter
about
what,
the others. I've
always
seen
has
Jason Todd
one
getting tortured
scene
and
or
Batman
one
failing
arc
him
that
like
people like.
57 different
And
times
you
at this
cannot
point.
lie with me
My
with
man
that.
Red Hood is
There's
carried
so
by the fact
many
that
of
his
that.
outfit is so ridiculously clean, his fighting is dope because he was obviously trained by Batman, and that the one storyline he's known for is a genuine DC masterpiece of
Like
a
Batman.
storyline. And hey, listen, I get it. If you're gonna be a one-hit wonder, you might as well be like Wheatus and have it be known for Teenage Dirtbag, because that shit is a banger.
Stop calling that man legendary because he.
Zuko.
Yeah.
Now, y'all might be mad at me, but this one I'm gonna defend. I be seeing people calling Zuko a fraud. Not too much on Zuko, chill. Zuko being legendary shouldn't be measured in wins and losses. That's childish. Whatever happened to process over outcome? His legendariness comes from his growth as a man. It's just like
No.
Giannis said. There's no such thing as failure, just steps to success. That's the loser nigga's anthem right there. Zuko defying his father. That's legendary. The strongest firebender potentially ever.
You
Spraying
were
him
just
with lightning.
contradicting yourself.
Legendary. And going on to find his own path, helping the Avatar to stop him. That's legendary. Helping stop a war, bringing the Fire Nation and the four nations back to harmony. That's legendary. Who cares if he lost some 1v1s? It happens. We know he's not stronger than Azula. We know he's not
You're
stronger than
contradicting
Ozai.
yourself.
We know he's not capable of beating Aang and being able to capture him. That was never the point. Respect Zuko, man. He doesn't deserve all that. He was a huge reason why Aang was able to defeat Ozai and able to learn
You
firebending.
can't. You. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna say it. You contradict yourself because you've been measuring every single one of these by 1 or 2 fights. Did we not just see the Stranger Thing fight where you literally said he lost to 1 and that makes him not legendary? Am I wrong? Anyways, like, subscribe if you guys want to see more reactions. I'm trying to talk more in my reactions. But one question for y'all, should I do live streaming? And if so, would you watch? I think I should still wait, grow my channel a bit more before I do any live streaming. But let me know what you think in the comments. And I hope to see you in the next video.